Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something super cool and life-changing called tiny experiments. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed by big goals, or just curious about trying new things without the pressure, this is for you. So, let's break it down in just a few minutes. What are tiny experiments? Why do they matter? And how can you use them in your daily life? Stick around and let's get started. First off, what are tiny experiments? Picture this. Instead of setting huge, intimidating goals that stress you out, you try small, easy actions that spark your interest. We're talking micro steps, little tests you can do without worrying about failing. It's all about exploring and learning through play, not forcing yourself into some rigid plan. Now, what's the purpose behind them? Tiny experiments are here to help you break free from perfectionism, fear of messing up, or just feeling like you're not moving forward. They're a gentle way to make progress by following your curiosity. You get to build resilience, figure out what works for you, and grow without judging yourself. It's like giving yourself permission to play and discover, no pressure attached. So, what makes these experiments special? Let me hit you with the key traits. 1. They're super small and simple. Think trying a new snack or taking a different route home. 2. They're time-bound, so you're not stuck doing them forever. Maybe just try it for a day or a week. 3. They're curiosity-driven. It's all about asking, hey, what if I try this? Instead of obsessing over results. 4. They're low risk. Mistakes are no biggie, they're just feedback. And finally, tiny experiments are repeatable, so you can keep doing them to build confidence and habits over time. All right, how can you actually use tiny experiments in your life? The applications are endless. You can test out new habits, like taking a deep breath before a stressful call. Want to get comfy with change? Try walking a new path to work. Need a confidence boost? Ask a simple question in a group chat. You can even strengthen friendships by sending a quick, I appreciate you text. Or just get to know yourself better by reflecting on how these little actions make you feel. It's all about adapting and growing, one tiny step at a time. If you've ever felt paralyzed by a big goal or overwhelmed by anxiety, you know how hard it can be to move forward. We often think we need a grand plan or a sudden burst of courage to make a change. But what if the opposite were true? What if the most effective way to learn, grow, and calm your fears is by taking the smallest, most gentle steps imaginable? This is the simple but powerful idea behind using tiny experiments. The first step is to let go of perfection. Instead of setting a demanding goal like, I will overcome my social anxiety or I will master this new skill, you start with simple curiosity. A tiny experiment isn't about achieving a specific outcome. It's about gathering information. Your only goal is to see what happens. Ask yourself, what's the absolute smallest action I could take right now just to learn something new? This could be as simple as deciding to breathe deeply for 30 seconds or writing a single sentence about how you feel. This approach is incredibly effective for managing anxiety. When a wave of fear or a looping, anxious thought appears, instead of fighting it, you can treat it as a signal to run an experiment. Reframe the internal battle from, I have to stop feeling this way, to, I'm curious about this feeling. What's one small thing I can do right now? For example, you could try naming the anxious thought out loud, staying in an uncomfortable situation for just 5 seconds longer than usual, or asking someone for a very small, low-stakes favor. Each action is a tiny piece of data that teaches you that you can handle more than you think. To make your experiment feel more intentional, you can create an informal pact with yourself. It's not a rigid contract, but a gentle commitment. You might say, for the next 3 days, I'll try to smile at one stranger each day. The most important part of this pact is giving yourself permission to fail. If you forget or feel too anxious, that's okay. The outcome isn't the point. The willingness to try is. After each experiment, the next crucial step is to reflect without judgment. Ask yourself, what happened? How did that feel? Did I learn anything surprising? If an experiment felt too difficult, That's valuable information. It simply means the step was too big. The goal is to shrink it down until it feels manageable. If an experiment felt good or empowering, that's also data. It's a sign that you can try a slightly bigger experiment next time. This cycle of trying, reflecting, and adjusting allows you to build momentum naturally, expanding your comfort zone without pressure. Here are a few examples to get you started. To learn something new, instead of committing to read a whole book, your tiny experiment could be to read just one paragraph. If you're confused by a concept, your experiment could be to write down one specific question about it. To manage anxiety, when you feel a surge of panic, your experiment could be to simply notice it and count 5 breaths before reacting. If you're anxious about a task, break it down into the smallest possible step, like opening your laptop or typing one word, and count that as your success. To make this process even more tangible, consider keeping a simple curiosity log. At the end of each day, jot down the experiment you tried, what you observed, and what you might be curious enough to try next. This isn't for tracking success or failure, but for creating a record of your own journey of discovery. It's proof that even on days when you feel stuck, you are still learning and moving forward. Ultimately, tiny experiments free you from the all-or-nothing mindset that fuels anxiety and procrastination. They teach you that change doesn't happen in one giant leap, but through a series of small, patient, and curious steps. There is no failure, only feedback for your next gentle experiment. So there you have it, folks. Tiny experiments for anxiety in a nutshell. They make personal growth feel practical, fun, and totally doable, even when life gets chaotic. Have you tried something like this before, or are you ready to start your first experiment today? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your ideas or what you're going to try. If you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more tips like this, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep experimenting.